We've often heard that masturbation is completely normal, but to what extent? How many times a day can you engage in this act without it being considered an addiction? And what if you find yourself unable to stop? Today, we're going to answer these questions and uncover why quitting this seemingly harmless habit can be life-changing. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the exaggerated cover. I needed to grab your attention for this important discussion. This is a modern issue that silently weakens individuals, draining them of willpower and motivation. In this video, you will gain insight into what happens to your brain from both a scientific and philosophical perspective, and what Stoicism teaches us about this habit. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any valuable content. Now let's dive in. Is masturbation really normal? Modern medical science affirms that masturbation is a natural behavior observed not only in humans, but also in animals like dogs and other mammals. However, this wasn't always the prevailing belief. In earlier times, masturbation was considered immoral, particularly for men, as it was seen as a waste of reproductive potential. For women, it was feared that self-pleasure might make them less interested in relationships with men. Additionally, past societies attached physical consequences to the act, falsely claiming that it caused health issues. But today, we have a more scientific understanding. Masturbation, particularly for those suffering from insomnia, has been shown to induce sleep. According to the French Institute of Health and Medical Research, after orgasm, the male brain shuts down sexual desire. The cerebral cortex, the region responsible for conscious thought, enters a resting state, making sleep easier. This is why many men doze off after sex or masturbation. The hidden trap. So, if masturbation helps with sleep, what's the problem? The issue lies in the powerful effect it has on the brain. When you masturbate, your brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure, stress relief, and a sense of reward. While dopamine is essential for motivation and happiness, excessive stimulation can lead to dependency. This is why some people become addicted to pornography and compulsive masturbation. In 2017, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders officially recognized hypersexuality disorder, classifying excessive masturbation under obsessive-compulsive behaviors. Just like substance addiction, compulsive masturbation can lead to mental and emotional turmoil, and in extreme cases, even self-destructive behaviors like seeking multiple sexual partners, engaging with escorts, or excessive pornography consumption. The science of addiction. Addiction to masturbation stems from the brain's adaptation to frequent dopamine spikes. Over time, the brain develops tolerance, demanding higher levels of stimulation to achieve the same pleasure. This is why compulsive behavior can escalate. Eventually, the brain starts blocking dopamine receptors to protect itself from overstimulation. The result? You engage in the act but no longer experience satisfaction, leading to frustration and an insatiable craving for more. This is the same cycle that smokers, alcoholics, and binge eaters fall into, seeking pleasure but never feeling truly fulfilled. What does Stoicism say? Now, you might wonder, what does Stoicism have to do with this? The great Stoic philosopher Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus emphasized discipline, self-control, and the mastery of one's desires. For Stoics, pleasure was not an ultimate goal but a test of character. Epictetus famously said, "It is not pleasures that define a good man, but his ability to master them." True freedom comes from controlling desires, not being controlled by them. Masturbation, according to Stoicism, is not just a physical act, but an opportunity for self-awareness. Those who can recognize and regulate their desires develop stronger mental resilience. Seneca reminds us that we should not be slaves to our urges, but rather their masters. The consequences of losing control. Every action has consequences, not only for ourselves, but for the world around us. When we surrender to excessive desires, like compulsive masturbation, we become disconnected from our natural state of balance and lose inner peace. Compulsive behavior leads to guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction, creating a mental prison. The Stoics teach that true fulfillment doesn't come from indulging in fleeting pleasures, but from mastering one's mind. Instead of being enslaved by momentary urges, we must cultivate self-discipline, which leads to deeper and more meaningful contentment. A personal story of transformation. Let me share a real-life example. I know someone who struggled deeply with compulsive masturbation, using it as a temporary escape from stress and anxiety. However, after each session, they were left feeling drained, empty, and guilty. By immersing themselves in Stoic philosophy and practicing self-discipline, they underwent a profound transformation. Instead of seeking pleasure in compulsive habits, they found joy in self-mastery, productivity, and purposeful living. Today, they experience a sense of inner peace and control, free from the grip of momentary desires. How to regain control? If you find yourself trapped in this cycle, here's how you can break free. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Learn to recognize urges without acting on them. Develop healthier habits. Replace compulsive behavior with exercise, reading, or creative pursuits. Understand your triggers. Identify what leads you to this habit and remove temptations. Seek purpose in bigger goals. Focus on self-improvement, building a career, or meaningful relationships. Embrace Stoic teachings. Learn to master desires instead of letting them master you. Final thoughts. In the end, true satisfaction comes from self-control, not indulging in compulsions. While society normalizes this act, it's essential to question whether it truly serves your best interest. If you want to reclaim your discipline, energy, and focus, consider reducing or eliminating this habit from your life. By practicing self-mastery, you will cultivate a clearer mind, a stronger will, and a more fulfilling existence. If this video resonated with you, make sure to like, comment, and share it with others who might need this message. Also, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss insightful content like this. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and until next time, embrace self-mastery.